Yo, what is up guys? This is Beast44 Gaming. It's been a minute since you've seen this beautiful face, but today I have for you the first video in like a small sub-series of MLB The Show 23 videos before the game actually comes out. So at the time of this recording, and maybe even at the time that this video goes up too, because, you know, I feel like I could get this out pretty soon. We have zero news on MLB The Show 23. We don't have a cover athlete. We don't have a release date. We don't have a Legends trailer. We don't have a features trailer. We don't have anything. All that we have right now is speculation, and it is kind of getting to the point in the year where it's like, okay, pretty soon we're going to need to start getting some news, because usually, let's see, last year the game came out. I believe the pre-order date was April 1st. You got to play it April 1st. And that was when all the pre-ordered people who, you know, obviously pre-ordered the game were able to play it. But before that, we had news on that for like months and months. And like we'd gotten some feedback and stuff. We had gotten trailers, we had gotten teasers for a series in the game. Like we had gotten stuff that would keep us occupied and talking about the new game. But as of the day of this recording being January 20th, and it's probably going up on the 21st, we have nada for the new game. So I figured I would start a series, or at least I would do a video regarding the predictions that I have for the new legends they're going to add to this year's game. Now obviously if you guys want to see, because I have a list for it, if you guys want to see a video that I do on what legends I think are going to be removed from the game, let me know down in the comment section down below. And let's get this video to like, what, 50 likes? Let's get this to 50 likes and I'll do a video on what legends I think will be gone from this year's game compared to the last. Now, for the first two on this list in my predictions, they're actually legends that we used to have in the game, but then for some reason they were taken out in the last year or two. Those two cards, or those two players, being Rogers Hornsby and Ty Cobb. Now, the last year we had Rogers Hornsby in the game was MLB The Show 20, in which he had, I believe, a MVP card, I want to say it was an MVP card. I know it was an award series card. I know that for a fact. That card was one of the best cards in the game. Like, that card was absolutely untouchable, especially, I think it was just, he only had second base, right? I want to say. Card could hit for power. I believe he was relatively fast. He had amazing defensive stats. He was just an overall really good card. Now, with Ty Cobb, for some reason, he was gone for, I don't even know if we had him in last year's game. It's been a minute since I played MLB The Show 21, but I know for a fact in MLB The Show 22, he was not there. Now, I don't remember seeing any, reasoning for this. I think I did a little bit of research before this. I don't remember seeing anything that would kind of give me a reason for why Ty Cobb was removed from the game, but they just got rid of him. And he was one of those cards that was really good on toxic team builds, especially if you would play at Polo Grounds. He was a big bunt guy. He had 99 speed. He was likely going to get on base anytime the ball was hit. So having those two cards back in the game would be a huge W for San Diego Studios, along with the rest of the cards on this list. The next one on my list, I feel like needs little introduction or, you know, explanation for it. I'm just trying to pull up my statistics here, sorry. The next card on the list is Derek Jeter. People have been wanting his card in the game for years, and yes, the first thing that people talk about when it comes to Derek Jeter and having a card in MLB The Show. Yes, we're all aware his defensive stats were shit. And yes, you could think he is one of the more overrated shortstops or defensive players in the history of the MLB. Regardless of that, however, he is one of the more influential and one of the most prominent Yankees and baseball players in general of this era of baseball. He was the guy, the face of the Yankees for the longest time until his retirement. And I think having him back in the game would be a huge W as well. Next on the list, maybe a little bit of a Milwaukee Brewers bias for as little of a time he was on the team. But CC Sabathia is another card we need back in MLB The Show. Now, in MLB The Show 22, we did see the, return or the debut of Randy Johnson. His big lefty stature was put into the MLB The Show game. And from day one, his 99 Signature Series card carved up the competition for whoever used them. Until later in this year when they added another 99 Randy Johnson and gave him a perfect game card with even more elevated stats along with his nasty ass pitch mix. Now, I'm not saying CC Sabathia should get that kind of treatment, although he definitely deserves to get some sort of treatment like that. Dude was a 6-time All-Star. He led the league in wins in back-to-back years. Hell, in his first All-Star season, I'm sorry if I keep looking down, but I'm looking at the stats on my phone. In his last All-Star season, I should say, with Cleveland, he led the league in innings pitched, so he was a goddamn workhorse, so his stamina would probably be through the roof if he got a card. He won the Cy Young Award in 2007, so you could give him a card for that. You could probably give him a signature series card for either Cleveland or New York. Unfortunately not Milwaukee. He only spent the latter half of, what was it, 2008 with them, but still, he could get a card for the Milwaukee Brewers too. I'm not going to be upset about that. And I just think the dude would be really fun to use again in MLB The Show, so CC Sabathia is another name on the list of cards I think should be added back to MLB The Show, along with the rest of these. Next one being Tim Hudson is the next one on this list. That might be a bit more obscure one. I'm sure you guys are probably thinking that, but Tim Hudson's stats actually aren't that bad. He may not be deserving of necessarily a 99 per se, but he could definitely get like up to a 96, 97 overall card, especially if you don't want to do that much with him in his first year. Hell, the way to implement him into the game, you could give him like a low 90s Rookie of the Year card, or actually he wasn't Rookie of the Year, he was 5th. But you could give him an all-star card. There are a lot of options here that you could do. He made the all-star team 4 different years, so you could give him an all-star card too if you want to do that. Like, there are options to use Tim Hudson for. Maybe not a 99. He's one of those cards where maybe not give him a 99 right away unless it's a super juiced card, like what they did with Retro Finest back in 22 here. But Tim Hudson, I think, is another one. He retired in 2015, so the last time he pitched in an MLB game was the 2015 season. So it's definitely been a minute since he has been in an MLB The Show game. I think now would be a good time to bring him back. Another option that I'd say is semi-obscure, but I'd say it makes sense to me, is Dan Uggla. He was a 3-time All-Star, with his first All-Star season coming the same year that he finished 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting. You could give him a milestone card for the 2012 season. He led the league in walks. That plate discipline would be through the roof, I can guarantee you that. Dude was a consistent hitter of 30-plus home runs from From 2007 to 2011, he hit 30-plus home runs in each of those seasons. So you could give him some sort of milestone card for that, or you could give him a second-half hero card, an all-star card. You could give him a signature series. There are options for Dan Uggla as well. Another one that may not necessarily be a 99, but I'd say this one is more eligible to be a 99 than Tim Hudson. Regardless, I'd say Dan Uggla is a good prediction / like wish listing to be on the list for returning legends this year. A lot of Braves fans going to be happy with like the last 3 that I've got, because I believe Tim Hudson, if I remember correctly, was a Brave. Yes, he was. Then we just did Dan Uggla, and the next one on the list is AJ Pierzynski. He was one that I initially thought was going to be a 99 card until I actually went and looked at his stats. I'm not going to lie, his stats aren't like the most out there for me, if you get what I'm saying. He was a 2-time All-Star and did win a Silver Slugger with the White Sox in 2012. He never really hit more than 20 home runs except for the 2012 season with Chicago. He did have a fairly decent batting average though, which I guess is something you could give him. So he'd probably have 100+ contacts for at least one side, and then like high 90s, low 100s power, probably not too much more than that if he get like for his maxed out card. But I'd say, like, he would be a decent card to have. It would be another catcher added to the mix. We just got Joe Mauer this last year. He would go along with, who are the other big catchers in this game? We got Adley Rutschman, Jorge Posada, Joe Torre even for some people. His 99 card this last year wasn't that bad. I think Johnny Bench is another one you could say, although that one might be a bit iffy. Regardless, it would add another catcher to the list of usable catchers in the league in the game. All right, enough for the Atlanta Braves, people. This one's going to be in the NL West. We're going to talk about Tim Lincecum. Tim Lincecum retired in 2016, and during his prime, he was one of the most nastiest pitchers this league has ever seen. He was a 4-time All-Star in back-to-back seasons. I think that's correct. In 2009, he led the league in complete games and shutouts. From 2008 to 2010, each of those 3 seasons, he led the league in strikeouts. In those same seasons, he led the league in strikeouts per 9 with 10.5, 10.4, and then it went down a little bit in 9.8. He was a 2-time and back-to-back Cy Young Award winner. So literally for like 2008 to 2011 is basically the sweet spot. That's probably going to be a prime card for him. Plus I believe, was he a lefty? Why am I forgetting this? No, he was a righty. I'm dumb. But this is another starting pitcher with a weird windup that would honestly be a game changer, I believe, in the game. Just the weird windup and release of his pitches, plus the nastiness that is his K per 9, would be an absolute W of a card, especially if you give him a 99. I'd say a prime or a signature series card. Forget his last season where he went to Los Angeles and didn't really pitch well. Basically, the late 2000s Giants era is the best era for a Tim Lincecum card. I probably could have paired this along with Derek Jeter earlier, but another card on my predictions list to return to MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty this year is Alex Rodriguez. Say what you want to say about his off-field stuff or out of the MLB organization stuff, about the shit with J-Lo. Honestly, she did better. I'm all for it. But as a player, you have to admit, he was one of the better players of his generation or of his era. Yes, he may have feuded with Derek Jeter a lot of the time. They did not like each other. That was very clear. But giving him a signature series card that I've seen a lot of people make with like the Mariners or even for his time in New York, honestly, he would be a great card to get into Diamond Dynasty as a shortstop and or third baseman. The next one might be another little bit of Milwaukee Brewers bias, but the next one on the list is J.J. Hardy. He retired back in 2017, so we're going on roughly 5-6 years since he's been in the league, since he's been in an MLB The Show game. I'd say his first All-Star season with the 2007 Milwaukee Brewers team might be a good way to go. He was hitting, let's see here, 277, not bad. He had an OPS of 786, which is but he had 26 home runs, and then the season after that hit 24. So he was starting to make a name for himself. He spent a decent amount of time with the Milwaukee Brewers, put up some decent numbers, went to Minnesota for a year, did all right, but then went to Baltimore and then really kind of made a name for himself there. He won a Gold Glove in 3 seasons consecutively with the Baltimore Orioles in 2012, 2013, and 2014. So as much as this may also be a little bit of Milwaukee Brewers bias, you could easily give him a Baltimore Orioles card that is more than usable and would do great in MLB The Show. I don't think this is Brewers bias because he wasn't with the team for a terribly long time, although he's with us for a few seasons. Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, is one of the next players on the list for my predictions to return as a legend in this next game of MLB The Show 23. I mean, what do I all need to say? He led the league in saves 3 of 4 seasons from 2005 to 2008. One of those seasons being 62 saves, which if I remember correctly, I think was a record. It might even still be. Let me look. It still is the record as of August 23rd, 2022. So yeah, like that record is still intact. K-Rod is the single season record holder for saves with 62. So that could easily be a milestone card that you give him. Dude was a 6-time All-Star, finished 3rd, or I should say, in the top 5 for Cy Young Awards 3 different times. Finished in the top 10 in MVP voting in 2008. I believe that was the same year. Yep, he did the saves record. So yeah, there are ways you can get Francisco Rodney into the game that'll make it work for him. I'm not sure what his pitch mix would be. That might be one of the things that makes him a little bit less usable than initially thought. But just to have him back in the game would be huge. Carlos Beltran is the next one on my list for predictions to return in MLB The Show 23. Say what you want about the 2017 Astros. That is the year that he retired, oddly enough. Carlos Beltran was still one of the better players of his era. I know I've said that for a couple different people, but it is an accurate way to say, or accurate way to describe Carlos Beltran's career. The day they released the Legends trailer for MLB The Show 23, I'm going to have my checklist of all the people I got right in my prediction. R.A. Dickey is the next one on my list, the knuckleballer himself. I think I speak for everyone when I say to have a starting pitcher who's a knuckleballer have a diamond card in the game, it would be a game changer for how people played games like ranked and battle royale. Even events like I mean, you could give like R.A. Dickey his own special event, like I don't know, like if moonshot event, but you have to face R.A. Dickey. That would be insane. Now I'm not sure you could really give R.A. Dickey a 99 card unless you use it for his 2012 season with the Mets, in which he was an All-Star. That's his only All-Star season ever, and he also won Cy Young that year. Unless you give him a Gold Glove card for his Toronto Blue Jays 2013 season, which even then, I don't know if that would be worthy of a 99 necessarily. He did lead the league in strikeouts in 2012, which is the year he won Cy Young. So like I said, unless it's 2012, I don't see him getting a 99 card. But if you use his 99 card for this 2012 stats, that card would be sick. It would be disgusting. We need to make it happen, San Diego Studios. Another pitcher on the list, but he has actually thrown a perfect game, so this would be the Randy Johnson-esque treatment. Matt Cain, another San Francisco Giant, is another prediction on my list for a returning legend this year. He retired also in 2017. He is a 3-time All-Star, won the World Series twice. Obviously, he's thrown that perfect game, which is huge. He finished 5th in the Rookie of the Year voting in 2006. Honestly, his prime, this would be another one where I'd say he gets a prime card, because from 2009 to 2012, he was either an All-Star or in the top 15 for Cy Young Award voting, or both. So to give him a card, his 99 card would probably be a perfect game card, but I wouldn't be upset about that. That would be I would be interested in seeing a perfect game Matt Cain card. Matt Cain card. What am I saying? Adrian Beltre is the next one on my prediction / wish list for returning legends in this year's game. Simply for the fact that the dude's fun as hell to watch, but he was also a great hitter, whether I believe he was in Seattle or even in the later half of his career when he was with the Rangers for a little bit. I want to say he was pretty good. A prime card would be great for him. He was, in his prime, he was one of the better hitters in the league. And this is just, again, this might be a bit biased just because I love watching the guy. But, I need to see Adrian Beltre back in the game. And to have him come back in this year's game would be huge. Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy, is the next one on the list. Hell, you could give him you could, fuck around with it and give him a milestone card for his first career home run. If you want to play like that with his Mets thing. He did only hit 1 career home run, so you could give him a milestone card for that. I wouldn't say it's a 99 card for his pitching stats and a hitting card. They gave Albert Pujols a pitching card this past year. You can give Bartolo Colon a hitting card. It can be done. In addition to that, he was a 4-time All-Star. He did win the Cy Young Award in 2005, so I'd say that would probably be one of the better cards to give him. If you were to give him a card, that could be a 99. I'd say Bartolo Colon's 2005 season card is worth a 99. But besides that, if Bartolo Colon does get a card, I don't believe it's going to be a 99. But to have him in the game, I think there would be a lot of fun that a lot of players of the game would have with that. Almost done with the list, you guys. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. But the last 3 on my list all retired in the year 2019. The first one on my list is Troy Tulowitzki. Now, I know what you're thinking. Forget that he played in Toronto. Just don't even look at his stats in Toronto when trying to make a card for Troy Tulowitzki. If you're going to make a Troy Tulowitzki card, only make it for Colorado. Only make it for his time he spent in Colorado. Dude was a back-to-back All-Star in 2010 and 2011. Finished in the top 10 for MVP voting 3 consecutive seasons. Won back-to-back Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers. So I'd say 2010 to 2011... any time for that would be huge for a Troy Tulowitzki card. Next one on the list is Ian Kinsler. Now, I honestly wasn't that familiar with Ian Kinsler's stats before looking at this, but he actually wasn't that bad. He was a, 4-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, finished 7th in Rookie of the Year. He won the 2018 World Series when he was with Boston. Hit 30-plus home runs a couple times in his career, mainly early on when he was with Texas. So a Texas card, kind of similar to a Michael Young card. Probably give him a Signature Series card. That'll be interesting to see. Other than that, I would say maybe an All-Star card for... you could give him an All-Star card for his last season or his last couple seasons in Texas, or even for his first season in Detroit when he was an All-Star in 2014. And the last player on this list, you know I had to bring him up, Ichiro Suzuki. We need him back in MLB The Show. What can be said about this guy that hasn't been said already? Dude's career is legendary. He came to the MLB for his rookie season when he was 27 years old, played 19 years until he was 45, and still managed to get 3,000 hits. Who the fuck is doing that in this day and age anymore? No one. Think of this. In his first 10 seasons, he was an All-Star in all of his first 10 seasons. He won a Gold Glove in every of his first 10 seasons. In his first season, he won Rookie of the Year, MVP, was an All-Star, won a Gold Glove, and was a Silver Slugger. There is so much that you can do with his first season alone. And after he left Seattle, you could give him a veteran card, but I wouldn't say that's worthy of a 99. Basically, anytime you could give him a 99 for all his time spent in Seattle. That card would be disgusting. It would be unfair to try and pitch against. Ichiro Suzuki needs to be put back in MLB The Show, and I think it's going to happen this year. So that is my complete list of predictions / hopefuls for returning legends in MLB The Show 23. Do you think I left any off my list? If so, let me know down in the comment section down below. Get this video to 50 likes, and I will immediately put up a video regarding legends I think are going to be taken out of the game in MLB The Show 23. If you guys want to see more content updating you on MLB The Show 23 news, also let me know down in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make and kind of do some research over. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, and this is Beast44 Gaming, signing out.